Welcome back on See Today Business, and now it's time for our business talk. And today on Business Talk, we are going to discuss all about coffee. Indonesia is said to have enormous potential as a coffee producing and consuming country. The World Coffee Organization states that Indonesia is the second largest coffee producer in Asia and Oceania after Vietnam, with production continuing to increase. The Indonesian Coffee and Chocolate Entrepreneurs Association had previously estimated that by 2023, the number of coffee shops in Indonesia could reach 10,000 shops, with revenues from the coffee shop business reaching 80 trillion rupiah. In 2022 and 2023, coffee production increased by 2.4% to 12 million bags. From the level of coffee consumption in Indonesia in the 10-year period between October 2008 and September 2019, there was also a significant growth of 44%. A Momentum Works report has revealed that throughout 2023, modern coffee shops and specialty coffee served by global and local chains have grown rapidly in Southeast Asia, with a turnover of $3.4 billion or 72.7 trillion rupiah, where Indonesia and Thailand are the largest markets, with a turnover of $947 million and $807 million respectively. Based on data from the International Coffee Organization, the world coffee industry in 2024 will still grow well, following projections that the world economy will grow above 3%. In addition, the projected world coffee consumption will also grow 2.2% to 177 million bags this year. And today we are going to explore how Indonesia's local coffee beans are making their mark on the global stage. To delve more into the topic, joining me is Fore Coffee's Chief Marketing Officer, Matthew Ardian. So good afternoon, Matthew.
Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you for being with us here on See Today Business.
Pleasure.
So Matthew, we'll just jump right into it. It is said 10,000 coffee shops here in Indonesia, and we're also seeing coffee on the bikes as well. Can you share with us, how is the industry like from your point of view?
I think it's very obvious, just like you mentioned, that this year compared to last year, we have an increment for about like 300,000 tons coffee consumption, or for about like increased 8% compared to previous year. And then also in Indonesia, per capita per users and per year is reaching 1.5 kilogram, which is quite a lot. But you know what? Compared to the other country like Southeast Asia, like Singapore, Thailand, or even like Malaysia, I think Indonesia is slightly way behind compared to them. I believe that there are a lot of room to grow for the coffee specialty especially. And we see that as an opportunity to grow the coffee because we believe that based on our data, Indonesia, they drink coffee very often. Based on the data, 73% of the Indonesian population are drinking coffee. And we know that, especially with the rise of the Gen Z drinkers, coffee drinkers, they drink coffee 6 times.
Six times a day?
No, it's per week. So
I thought it was a day.
It's nearly it.
So they almost drink coffee every single day?
They almost drink coffee every single day.
Yes.
And then we know that there are a lot of coffee chains, rapidly growing in our nation, in Indonesia.
Yep.
Also, the global players also seeing Indonesia to showcase the brand, keep expanding. Yeah, that's what happened with Indonesia coffee nowadays.
Yeah, and you were mentioning how people are still opening coffee shops and then of course catering to all the consumers as well. So it means that the competition is also growing rapidly.
Yes.
And besides the coffee shops and also the global chains, we can only see how, there are also coffee on the bikes as well. When we talk about, the price entry level for those who consume coffee, but also how can you compete with the competitors? How can you actually grab the opportunity?
Yeah, we do believe that positioning is matters because since the day one we have very consistent to bring the premium affordable coffee. We are consistently highlight the good quality coffee only. And then within this positioning, we know that Indonesia has so much potential, especially when we talk about the tier 2, tier 3, besides Jakarta. We know that this kind of positioning and also good curation of product will be very well accepted. Especially, probably you heard about the viral product from Fore Coffee, which is butterscotch sisal latte. We know that in the year of 2017, everybody talk about coffee. But I think it's because of the ability of us as a local player to kind of like showcase the good coffee quality. We're combining the local beans, also the innovation. everyone would definitely favor for the new creation. I think it's up to us how to, create and, introduce the new product every time, not only for Indonesia, but also for global.
For global.
Yeah.
And speaking of global, some of your competitors, we can see coming from Singapore to Indonesia and also from Indonesia to Singapore, US, and also Australia. However, a few coffee brand Indonesia choose Singapore, and in your case, you choose Singapore. Why Singapore?
Yeah, we started expanding the brand in Singapore in 2023, last year, November. So it's been almost a year today. We know that, obviously, I mentioned before that per capita per user per year, Singapore has reached 2.2 kilogram. And also, definitely, they drink coffee very often. We done prior research before, for about like almost 2 years. So it takes very long, process to get into where we are in Singapore. And definitely they value the good creation of Indonesian coffee. For Fore itself, we bring the Indonesian coffee culture, which is we introduce how we innovate the sustainability movement. We introduce the good quality of coffee and also the innovation of us, because somehow I would say that for Fore Coffee, we are the artisanal fusion version of Indonesian coffee culture, that somehow Singapore is very attractive to showcase the local brand who would like to expand into the global presence.
Okay, and Matthew, and speaking of putting Indonesian coffee on the global presence as well, how would you say is the best way to actually position Indonesian coffee brands on the global market? Because of course, when we hear the word coffee, probably abroad, people can synonymously think of Java beans and then Sumatra. But then when they think about Indonesian coffee shops, they are not familiar. How can we actually market ourselves more on the global stage?
Yeah, now you feel me. So it's obviously, we thought that it's gonna be very easy job and since the day one, but it's not as easy as we thought, because they obviously know like the Gayo bean coffee, Sumatra, Aceh, and everything. But once we bring the Indonesian coffee culture, we carry some kind of high duty because we're representing Indonesia, and we set apart the strategy to make Indonesian coffee tradition is a cheap coffee, because we know that Indonesia has so much thing to explore, especially with the quality. We know that the local bean like Aceh or even like Papua, Bali, especially. For Singapore, we even added new bean, which is bean from Bali. That somehow is very, it's easier for us, for the local brand, to penetrate with the local market, because for the customer abroad, especially Singapore, they really values the creation, they really values the innovation. So they put aside the promotions, the low cost seeker and everything. So I think Singapore is just a nice place to showcase our creation.
Because they really think about the quality, and this is the time for Indonesian
They're craving
to
for
shine.
quality, yes, exactly.
And then speaking of quality as well, now we can see Fore almost in every corner of the city here in Jakarta and also other big cities all across Indonesia. And when we drink coffee, of course, other than the price, we also want the quality. How can you ensure the freshness of your coffee beans, of your products, and probably not only here, but also in Singapore or other countries which you would like to delve into as well?
Yeah, very great question. So we believe that consistency is the key in every F&B industry, especially for Fore Coffee. To give you some information, we don't really, we don't into franchise arrangement for the business. So the business is operated by our own. I think it's also important to customer to know about it. And talking about the quality, of course, we ensure besides the sustainability, but also the traceability also. We work with the local supplier. We also empower them with our CSR program all together with the company, so we can kind of like showcase all the good effort behind. And we have a very good learning and development team that penetrate penetrate barista. We train them for nearly like a month, not only in Indonesia but also in Singapore. We work with the local, for example, like World Barista Championship, which is Michael Jasin from Indonesia is also become the ambassador of Fore Coffee. So I think it's all about the collaboration spirit to make it innovation is real here in Fore Coffee, and then somehow I think customer can really feel it, the genuine aspect of the humanizing of Fore Coffee. We can feel the innovation, they can feel the quality, because we are very customer-centric and also product-centric. We're making sure every cup is a good quality coffee they deserve.
good quality coffee they deserve.
Yes.
And now we'd like to also know about because you mentioned before, it's very customer-centric.
Yes.
How do you see the customer nowadays? Because of course, they have now many options to choose from regarding the coffee chains. How can you actually answer to what they need? What are their needs now? Do they focus on sustainability and traceability of the beans which you extract, or do they focus on the collaborations and also probably, as you mentioned before, your winning artisanal coffee?
Artisanal coffee.
Yes. What are the customers, preferences that you see?
Yes. I think I will answer that with actually the right formula is just focus with the product. Besides the customer-centric, we also need to make the brand is product-centric. We have a monthly and even quarterly survey that we know that what are the customer into, what are the customer needs, and we are sincerely hear the feedback every day.
Yes.
Every day we have the strong customer service overall. So we know that Indonesia in Singapore is slightly different. Where in Indonesia, it's also good to showcase the eco-friendly, also good to showcase the good quality of coffee, where somehow is for Singaporean, they thought it's very important factor before they purchase. So like the story like sustainability, the traceability we did, is very matters for the Singaporean before they making purchase. But for Indonesia, you know that there are a lot of like, you mentioned 10,000 coffee shops.
Yes.
For the major, let's say top 10 coffee chain in Indonesia. I think it's really unfortunate to see the competition about the discount war, the low-cost coffee. We do believe with the quality. So within the positioning of the artisanal and also affordable premium, we know that somehow this product can easily penetrate anywhere, not only Jakarta-centric, but also across Tier 2 and also Tier 3.
So
I think that's all what matters.
Okay. So it also comes down to the marketing as well here
Exactly.
in Indonesia. And then, so what do you see for the global market, especially regarding Indonesian coffee? What is the future like for Indonesian coffee?
I think for Indonesia, let's start with the coffee chain, the local players. Definitely they are eyeing to do the expansion globally, which is very good because I think it's about time that, Indonesia has one of the largest coffee provider. We
Yes.
are number 4 along with, let's say, Vietnam, Brazil, and also Colombia. I think it's about time for Indonesia to showcase good quality with the government as well. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what it looks like for the
Exactly.
future. All right, thank you very much, Matthew, for your insight and also
you.
for the business talk today on
Yes.
See Today Business. So that's all for today's business talk. And remember, you can also stay connected with us on Instagram, X, and YouTube. Our handle is at See Today News, and we're also available online at seetodaynews.com. So let's stay connected. And don't go anywhere because we will be taking a break, but we'll be back right after the break with Han.